Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, the IHL walked back its stance on vaccine mandates for Mississippi campuses. Find out what that means for recent resolutions ASB and the Faculty Senate passed in support of vaccine mandates.
Today, vaccines got one step closer to being available for children under 12 years old. We'll tell you where they stand.
And the saga continues as Governor Tate Reeves fired back at President Biden over vaccine mandates. We'll hear from the governor coming up. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now. Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Mason Ciano.
And I'm Darielle Johnson.
In a surprise decision, the Institutions of Higher Learning Board of Trustees voted 8-1 on Friday to bar Mississippi's 8 public colleges and universities from mandating COVID vaccines. This prohibits any university's administration from requiring vaccination as a condition of employment or enrollment except for clinical settings. The decision is a significant backpedal from their August 27th vote, which left vaccine mandates at the discretion of each university. This comes after the September 7th vote by UM's Faculty Senate calling on the university to adopt a vaccine mandate. Last week, the Associated Student Body Senate voted to support the Faculty Senate's resolution.
Today, the Mississippi State Department of Health reported over 2,600 new COVID cases and 56 new deaths from the weekend. Lafayette County makes up 32 of those new cases. That averages out to less than 900 new cases per day, a significant drop from the numbers of recent weeks. This brings the overall total of in-state cases to 476,000. Last week, President Biden took a shot at Governor Tate Reeves from his vocal criticism of coronavirus vaccine mandates. Last night, on an interview with CNN, Reeves fired back at the president.
The president very much wants you and everyone else to believe that this is a fight between politicians. The reality is this is an attack by the president on hardworking Americans and hardworking Mississippians who he wants to choose between getting a jab in their arm and their ability to feed their families.
The governor also asked where America draws the line for the powers it is willing to give Biden.
Following the U.S. Supreme Court's decision earlier this month not to block Texas's abortion law, attention moves to an upcoming Mississippi case set to challenge Roe v. Wade. The court announced today its December schedule, which will feature oral arguments on December 1st of Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. The case challenges the constitutionality of Mississippi's Gestational Age Act, a 2018 state law that bans abortion after the first 15 weeks of pregnancy, with some exceptions. Controversially, those exceptions do not include cases of rape or incest. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Mississippi ruled in favor of Jackson Women's Health, upholding the Roe decision. On appeal, the Fifth Circuit affirmed. The Supreme Court decided in May to hear the case, and despite striking down similar restrictive state laws recently, abortion advocates fear that with 6 conservative justices now on the court, the law may be upheld. Women are currently legally allowed an abortion within the first 24 weeks of pregnancy. After a statewide silver alert, a Yalobusha County man was found dead Sunday near Water Valley. 77-year-old Earth Franklin Samples of Coffeyville had been missing since Friday morning after he left a clinic in Water Valley. After a massive search operation involving family, friends, Mississippi Highway Patrol, volunteer firefighters, and law enforcement from surrounding counties, Samples' body was found in his red Volkswagen in a creek. Officials suspect that Samples had a heart attack, leading him to drive his vehicle off Highway 32, 3 miles west of Water Valley. Throughout the rest of the year, the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department will host Equalizer Women's Self-Defense Program to help promote women's self-protection. The EWSD teaches women how to defend themselves to reduce the risk of becoming victims. According to the Oxford Eagle, they will educate participants on personal safety, residential security, and physical self-defense. Participants should wear a comfortable gym attire. Classes are available on September 30th, October 21st, November 11th, and December 2nd at 6 p.m. in the LCSD's training facility at 713 Jackson Avenue.
ASV election season is wrapping up. NewsWatch reporter Sarah Gail Myers gives us a look at what to expect within an in-person election and how to make sure your vote is counted.
Elections are in full swing here on campus, and tomorrow is the big day. Abby Mathis, press secretary for the Associative Student Body for Ole Miss, spoke with us about the elections and what new things we can see this year.
You can vote by logging on to My Ole Miss. There will actually be signs around campus where they can scan a QR code, which will take them right to their My Ole Miss, and they can go to the Get Involved tab, vote in the student elections, and vote for whoever they want.
These codes are easy to use and accessible for students. You just go to your camera or Snapchat, scan the code, click the link at the top, and you're there.
We want everybody to vote, obviously. And so we were like, how do we make this happen? We were like, let's just make it easier. So we've got the QR codes all around campus, and it'll be really exciting.
Voting will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, September 21st, and runoff elections will be this Thursday, the 23rd, at the same time.
It's just our first in-person campaign, in a long time, and it's been really exciting to see everybody back outside the Union on the Union Plaza, handing out stickers.
I'm really excited about these elections being in person because it's so much more personable and fun, actually, just to be able to physically hand people stickers and introduce yourself and get to know them.
For the first time in over a year, elections will be announced in person right here at the Lyceum steps. Sarah Gail Myers, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
And if you vote tomorrow, you will automatically be put in 3 textbook scholarship raffles that will be announced at the elections tomorrow as well. Coming up on NewsWatch Ole Miss, one COVID-19 vaccine is now safe for your children 5 to 11 years old.
And the iOS 15 update was released today for all Apple users. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw, and you run and get it.
Welcome back. Just hours ago, the United States carried out an airstrike in Syria. Here's Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby on the latest attack.
A strike near Idlib, Syria, on a senior al-Qaeda leader. Their initial indications are that they struck the individual that they were targeting and that they don't have any indications at this time of civilian casualties, but they continue to look into that, of course.
This attack comes just days after findings from a recent U.S. drone strike revealed 10 civilian casualties.
A Houston, Texas police officer is dead this afternoon and another injured after executing a warrant at an apartment complex in northeast Harris County. Officer William Bill Jeffrey and Sergeant Michael Vance were both shot multiple times at Timber Ridge Apartments near Bush Intercontinental Airport. The two officers were shot at 7:28 this morning while attempting to execute a narcotics arrest warrant. Jeffrey was shot in the chest and died from his injuries. Vance is in stable condition and underwent surgery after being shot multiple times in the leg. The suspect, 30-year-old Dion Leday, was shot and killed at the scene. A 27-year-old officer with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection will not be prosecuted. The New Jersey man was arrested by Capitol Police for carrying a gun at Saturday's rally at the U.S. Capitol. The rally was billed to support the suspect's charge in the January 6th insurrection. Despite fears that the protests could turn violent in wake of January's bloody events, there were very few incidents Saturday. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington said prosecutors were not moving forward with charges against the unnamed CBP officer, but did not provide additional information about the decision. Federal law typically allows law enforcement officers to carry weapons in other states, but the law exempts government property, like the Capitol, where it is illegal to carry a gun.
Today marked preliminary meetings for the United Nations General Assembly. The 76th session of the UN General Assembly officially begins tomorrow. The UN has suggested world leaders be vaccinated or address the assembly virtually. The meeting is at the international headquarters in New York City. The city has vaccine and mask mandates in place to enter indoor facilities.
Today, Pfizer said that its coronavirus vaccine is safe for children as young as 5 years old. Now they hope to get clearance from the Food and Drug Administration. Mandy Gaither has the latest on child vaccines.
For the first time, results released for a COVID-19 vaccine in children ages 5 to 11. Pfizer says their trial reveals it's safe for that age group.
I think this is going to make a huge difference in the fight against COVID-19.
The data has not yet been peer-reviewed or published, but Pfizer says the results show the vaccine is both safe and effective in younger children. The trial used a 2-dose regimen of the vaccine given 3 weeks apart and used a smaller dose than has been used for those 12 and older.
So many parents have been waiting for exactly this news, especially given what's happening now with the Delta variant. I mean, there have been nearly 500,000 new cases in children in the last 2 weeks.
Pfizer says it plans to submit the data to the FDA for emergency use authorization soon. Once that's done, the agency could authorize a vaccine for younger children in a matter of weeks. A recent Kaiser Family Foundation poll showed about a quarter of parents with children ages 5 to 11 said they would vaccinate their child right away once a vaccine is authorized. But 4 in 10 parents said they would wait and see how the vaccine is working.
What I would say to parents is definitely look at the data, do your own research, examine the safety data, listen to your pediatrician.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Pfizer said it will continue to compile information on vaccines for the youngest Americans and expects to have trial data for children as young as 6 months old in coming months.
President Biden plans to lift strict non-essential travel bans in time for the holidays in November. The coronavirus travel bans on non-essential travel for the United Kingdom and members of the European Union will expire. There is one condition. Those traveling to the States from abroad will have to show proof of vaccination before boarding their flight. The delay is intended to give airlines time to prepare for increasing traffic.
Apple released iOS 15 today, its major annual software update for iPhone. This year's release had been met with some excitement after it was announced that iPhone users can now make FaceTime calls to Windows and Android users. Other features are improved artificial intelligence that can better identify animals, plants, and items in photos, and a feature that gives users better controls on their notifications. It also upgraded some features within the Health app, like adding vaccine status and coronavirus test results. The new update is available on iPhones dating back to the 6S, which was released in 2015.
After a dominant win over Tulane last Saturday, 2 Rebel football players have received high honors for their performance. Can the Rebels carry that momentum into Tuscaloosa in 2 weeks? Find out more coming up next in sports.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother, and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Yeah, Sam, Elmo.
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go? This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome. Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Welcome back. Sports reporter Ruby Dreyer is live with us in the studio.
Ruby, what's going on with the Rebs? Well, Darielle, the Rebels wasted no time proving that they are a top 15 team on Saturday after a blowout 61-21 win over Tulane. I caught all of the action at Vaught Hemingway. Rain brought the rain in the Vaught on Saturday, and after almost a 2-hour delay, the Rebels did not disappoint. Ole Miss finished with 707 total yards on offense, with 372 of those yards rushing. The Rebels beat the Green Wave 61-21. Matt Corral wasted no time proving how special he is, completing 23 of 31 passes for 335 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also added 68 yards and 4 more scores on the ground. Corral is the first player to do so in a game in conference history. The Rebels broke a school record with 41 first downs, and 25 of them coming in the first half. In the first true test of the season, Jonathan Mingo shined with 136 receiving yards and a touchdown on the night. He was not alone in a dominant performance, with Jerry and Ely totaling 103 yards on 15 attempts. The defense left no doubt after holding Tulane to only 21 points, with Chance Campbell continuing to be a crucial force this year. Campbell led the team with 8 tackles and a sack. Ole Miss improves to 3-0 for the first time since the 2015 season before heading into a bye week. Until next time, Rebs, hotty toddy. Without a game this weekend, all the attention will be on the matchup against number 1 Alabama in 2 weeks. The kickoff is set for 2:30 in Tuscaloosa on October 2nd to open up SEC play for the Rebels. For the second straight week, Matt Corral was named the FBS Walter Camp Offensive Player of the Week after he set SEC records against Tulane. The California native is the first player in SEC history to have 3 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing touchdowns in a single game. He led the Rebels to total 707 offensive yards, the 4th most ever by an Ole Miss team. The accolades continued for Matt Corral after earning SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Corral was not alone, with offensive lineman Jeremy James being named SEC Co-Offensive Lineman of the Week. James helped the Ole Miss offense tie the SEC record with 41 first downs and had 84 sackless snaps against Tulane. The offense converted on 7 of the 8 trips to the red zone with the help of James at right tackle. Former Rebels A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf faced off in the Titans vs. Seahawks matchup yesterday, but didn't put up the same numbers they are typically used to. A.J. Brown averaged 14.3 yards and only 3 receptions, while DK Metcalf had 6 receptions for 53 yards, despite having 11 targets in the game. Neither receiver was able to get into the end zone this week. A.J. Brown and the Titans ultimately got the win with a field goal to win in overtime, 33-30. Ole Miss fans also saw Robert Nikomdici record 7 tackles at defensive tackle for the Seahawks. Tight end Dawson Knox had a touchdown for the Buffalo Bills in their win over the Miami Dolphins. Ole Miss beat Georgia Southern 2-1 yesterday to finish out the weekend 2-0. The Rebels completely controlled the game, owning 60% of the possession throughout the game and outshooting the Eagles 29-3. Haley Stackpole scored first off a header from a far post cross in the 19th minute for her 3rd goal of the season. Ramsey Davis was also able to fire off a shot that was blocked by the Eagles goalkeeper, but quickly followed it to make it 2-0 in the 53rd minute. 3 minutes later, Georgia Southern responded with a goal of their own to make it 2-1. The Rebels handled business in the end and will look ahead to their next match on Thursday against LSU. The Ole Miss men's golf team was set for their season opening tournament today at the Scenic City Invitational before it was canceled due to inclement weather. Heavy rain soaked the honors course earlier this morning, and with rain expected to continue into tomorrow, the decision was made to cancel the 54-hole tournament completely. The Rebels are now set to begin the 2021-2022 season at the Blessings Collegiate Invitational on October 4th through the 6th. You'll be able to watch the Ole Miss men's golf team at their 3-day tournament live on the Golf Channel. That's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Ruby.
Last night, the Emmys took place, and there's a few TV shows that took home multiple trophies. Find out which ones next on NewsWatch Ole Miss.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
The 2021 Emmys took place last night, and The Queen's Gambit was the biggest show crowned there, claiming 9 awards, with 6 more categories contested. It had essential to tie or break the record for most awarded limited series of all time and the most awarded program in any genre in a single year.
And Emmy records were shattered. Saturday Night Live won their 92nd Emmy Award, becoming an all-time trophy leader, the next closest being Game of Thrones with 59 overall.
And I didn't get a chance to watch the Emmys last night. Football was more important, but Queen's Gambit surely racked up.
Mason, I feel that. I didn't watch the Emmys either, but I did see the outfits.
Well, there you go. That's all we've got for you tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Mason CNO.
And I'm Darielle Johnson. Be sure to follow us on social media for all your NewsWatch updates.
Thank you and good night.